she do today? Sorry? What did she do today?
Hello.
Extraction of teeth.
Swamiji told, when I said you have to extract your teeth, he said, you can handle it yourself, Swamiji said.
You are capable of dancing.
Yes, Swamiji, that's what I am telling. Not only that, she can eat like this.
I said, why should you take you to the dentist?
Jai Jai Ram.
Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram 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 Om
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Om. Shri 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 Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Om.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Om. Shri Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai 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 Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Jai Jai Ram. ഒക്കത്തിനും പോകും ജയ് ജയ് സത്സംഗമൊക്കെ ചൊല്ലുമ്പോൾ 4:30 വരെ ഇരിക്കും ചൊല്ലുമ്പോൾ അതന്നെ സത്യം. ജയ് ശ്രീരാം ജയ് രാം ജയ് ജയ് രാമ ഓം. ശ്രീരാം ജയ് രാം ജയ് ജയ് രാമ ഓം. ശ്രീരാമ ജയ് രാം ജയ് ജയ് രാമ ഓം. ശ്രീരാമ ജയ് രാം ജയ് ജയ് രാമ ഓം. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Hari Om to everybody.
Hari Om, Pranam Swami.
Pranam.
Pranam
Pranam,
Swamiji.
pranam.
Hari Om.
Pranam, pranam. For the past few days, we have been trying to understand how Srimad Bhagavad Gita is related in our day-to-day life. Rather than treating it as a scripture which has no connection with the daily life, we are trying to understand how it is directly related to our workaday life. Though our masters have been telling us, we were not able to connect it. We have reverence, we kept it in the shelf. Whenever somebody talks, says, we may probably open it, We enjoy the talk, nothing else. In our individual life, in our family life, in our professional life, in our social life, we have not been prompted to search for something which is related to Bhagavad Gita. Now he has prompted us to go on these lines. So on that basis, till yesterday we were sharing about 23 anecdotes, how it is directly related to Bhagavad Gita. So we will move to the 24th one. Ria, a talented student from Delhi, was celebrated for her creativity and passion for art. Yet, like many young people, she found herself swept up by the expectation of her family and the prevailing trends among her peers. Despite her love for the arts, she enrolled in a top engineering college, hoping to please her parents and fit in with her friends. From the very first year, she struggled. The coursework felt alien to her, and she found little joy in subjects like mathematics and science. Her grades slipped, her confidence waned, and she felt increasingly out of place. The stress and unhappiness mounted, and she began to realize that her decision had been driven by external pressures, not her own interests or aptitudes. After 2 years of struggle, she summoned the courage to speak honestly with her parents. She explained her lack of interest in engineering and her true passion for graphic design and the visual arts. Though her parents were initially hesitant, they ultimately supported her decision to switch paths. Ria thrived in design school, excelling in her studies, rediscovering her love for learning. She went on to build a successful career as a graphic designer, working with leading brands and finding both professional fulfillment and personal happiness. This story is a reminder that blindly following popular or expected career paths without pausing to assess one's own temperament, aptitude, and interest can lead to regret and wasted time. It is only through thoughtful self assessment and open communication that can make choices that lead to lasting fulfillment. Connection to Bhagavad Gita, chapter number 1, sloga number 21-22. सेनयोरुपयोर्मध्ये रतं स्थापय मे अच्युत यावदेधान्निरीक्ष्येऽहं योद्य कामानवस्थितान् कैर्मया सहयोधव्यम् अस्मिन् रणं समुद्यमे. Place my chariot in the midst of the two armies, Achyuta, that I may observe those who stand here, eager to fight. Let me know with whom I must engage in the battle. Before plunging into the great battle of Kurukshetra, Arjuna asked Krishna to pause, to place his chariot in the middle of the two armies so he can observe and assess the situation. This crucial pause allows Arjuna to reflect deeply before acting. Similarly, Riya's turning point came when she paused to reflect on her true interests and abilities, rather than rushing forward on the path chosen by others. This pause, this self assessment, helped her realign her actions with her authentic self, leading to both peace and success. Before making important life decisions, especially those that shape our future, it is wise to pause, reflect, and assess the situation honestly, just as Arjuna did on the battlefield. The Bhagavad Gita teaches us that thoughtful self examination and courage to act on our own true calling are essential for a fulfilling and successful life. Every time when we read, all of us should try to reflect upon it. No? Yesterday we have been repeating that it should not become a hearing or a session or a learning or a talking session or reading session. It is a session that is being provided to us by the Almighty to pause, to reflect. So before plunging into any action, I must assess, I must evaluate, I must check up all the necessary factors. Otherwise, what she felt, what she experienced will be our fate too. Puja Swamiji, when he was asked a question, he used to answer like this: don't react immediately. When somebody talks, when somebody acts, impulsively, suppose we react, consequence may be undesirable. Pause, reflect, then act. Even if we hear, we may lose, but constant thinking, it might help us to slowly tame the mind and prevent from impulsively acting or reacting. A dedicated life. Chakravarti Sridhar, lovingly known as Sridhar Sir in Hubli, was not just a teacher. He was a living embodiment of selfless action and devotion. Choosing to remain a bachelor, he dedicated his entire life to his students, treating each one as his own child. His lifestyle was a testament to simplicity. He wore plain clothes, ate only idlis, never accepted invitation for meals, used no soap or powder, and washed his own clothes. The only possession he kept were a suitcase of books in an unlocked room. Every day he walked 5 kilometers to school, never seeking convenience or comfort. Promotions were offered, but he spurned them, believing his true calling was to serve where he was needed most. Most of his salary went to the needy and helpless, students who struggled, families who suffered, lives that needed a helping hand. When the time came for his retirement, the love and gratitude of his students poured forth. The farewell function was gathering of hearts. Students came from far and wide, from England, America, South Africa, and beyond, all owing their careers and characters to Sridhar Sir. The wealthy among them brought expensive gifts, mobiles, gold rings, and more. But Sridhar Sir's response was as simple as his life. In the midst of the function, he called the children to stand in a line and distributed all the gifts among them. As his student wept and fell at his feet, he quietly slipped away, heading off to a remote village to continue his life of service among the helpless and forgotten. His post-retirement benefits too were donated to students, every last rupee. For Sridhar Sir, the joy was always in the giving, never in the receiving. Connection to Bhagavad Gita, chapter number 2, shloka number 47. कर्मण्येवाधिकारस्ते मा फलेषु कदाचन मा कर्म बलहेतुर्भुर् माते संगोस्त्व कर्मणि. You have the right to perform your prescribed duties, but you are not entitled to the fruits of your action. Never consider yourself the cause of the results. Never be attached to inaction. Sridhar Sir's entire life was a living example of the teaching. He performed his duties with unwavering dedication, never seeking rewards, recognition, or comfort. His actions were motivated by pure love and a sense of duty, not by the desire for personal gain. Even when praised, he quietly moved on, his heart set on the next act of service. True greatness lies in selfless action, in doing one's duty without attachment to the fruits. As the Bhagavad Gita teaches, such a life uplifts not just the individual, but all those touched by their action. Sridhar Sir's legacy is not measured in wealth or accolades, but in the countless lives he transformed, one quiet, noble deed at a time. They are all living embodiments, you know. Many such teachers we do remember. In 50s, when there was no free education, excepting the government schools. All private schools they were charging because they have to pay salary to the teachers and maintain the school. So in a remote village, in a backward area like Wayanad, where the standard of living was very, very low, everybody was depending upon purely on agriculture, no other activities. So the income was less. There were no schools. Somebody was kind enough to put up schools. Initially, somehow they managed, but there will be many months when they will not be able to pay them. If you remember right, the fees was about 8 rupees, something like that. 5 rupees, 6 rupees, 8 rupees, something like that. But even then, the parents were not in a position to afford. So there will be days on 31st when the register is checked. The school clerk will give the list to the headmaster. The headmaster in turn will give to the class teacher. And when at the time of attendance, the boy will be asked, "We will give you 1 or 2 days, please, otherwise your name will be struck." But the headmaster was so kind enough. He must be having only 80, 90 rupees salary at that time. Ordinary teachers were getting 45, 50 rupees. But we know the headmaster. He used to give from his pocket. No poor student should be denied of education. Many. Still, they come before us, even after a lapse of nearly 65, 70 years, we still remember. They were all embodiments, but now Bhagavad Gita reminds us. This is what is expected of us. And Lord Krishna is touching and kindling us to be in that as much as possible. That particular slogan, Karmanye Vadigaraste Mapaleshu Kadachana. Mr. Subramaniam worked as a personal driver for Mr. Sambashiva Reddy, the principal of Nirmal Hriday School in Khammam, Andhra Pradesh. Known for his reliability and quiet dedication, Mr. Subramaniam's true character shone through in a moment of unexpected testing. One Monday morning, returning from his native village, Mr. Subramaniam got off the bus carrying a bag he believed was his own. As he walked home, he heard a mobile phone ringing, but paid it no mind. He did not own one and assumed it was somebody else's. The phone rang again after he reached home, and to his surprise, the sound was coming from the bag he had brought. Opening the bag, he found not only a mobile phone, but also a large sum of money, rupees 55,000. Shocked, he realized he had mistakenly taken the bag, identical of his own. Just then the phone rang once more. On the line was a distressed lady, the true owner of the bag, who explained that the money was meant for the final payment on a house. Without hesitation, Mr. Subramaniam reassured her, confirmed her identity, and arranged to return the bag and its contents. The grateful owner, overwhelmed by his honesty, offered him a cash reward, but Mr. Subramaniam politely refused, saying he had only done what was right. When Mr. Sambashiva Reddy heard of his driver's integrity, he was deeply moved and rewarded Mr. Subramaniam with a well-deserved increment, recognizing his rare honesty and sense of duty. Connection to Bhagavad Gita, chapter number 18, sloga number 26. Mukta sango nahamvadi धृत्युत्साह समान्वितः सिद्ध्या सिद्ध्योर निर्विकारः कर्ता सात्विक उच्यते. The performer is said to be in the mode of goodness, sattvic, when he or she is free from egotism and attachment, endowed with enthusiasm and determination, and equipoised in success and failure. Mr. Subramaniam's action perfectly reflects this teaching. He acted without attachment to reward or recognition, free from ego, and with unwavering determination to do what was right. Whether praised or not, whether offered a reward or not, his sense of duty and honesty remained steady, pure. True goodness lies in acting with integrity without expectation of reward or recognition. As the Gita teaches, the Sattvika doer is one who is selfless, steadfast, unaffected by outcomes, serving as a beacon of virtue in society. Subramaniam's honesty is not just an example for his workplace, but an inspiration for all who value righteousness and the spirit of selfless action. The next one happens in many of our lives. A young lady waiting for her flight found herself with hours to spare in the airport lounge. To pass the time, she brought a book and a packet of cookies, then settled into a comfortable armchair. Soon after, a man sat beside her, opened a magazine, began to read. As she reached for her first cookie, she noticed the man also took one. Irritation flared inside. What nerve, she thought. If I were in the mood, I would teach him a lesson he would never forget. Yet she said nothing, choosing to fume in silence. Each time she ate a cookie, the man calmly took one as well. Her anger simmered with every bite. When only one cookie remained, she wondered, what will this shameless man do now? To her surprise, he broke the last cookie in half, offering her one piece with a gentle smile. That was the last straw. She was fuming. Without a word, she gathered her things and stormed off to the boarding gate. Once on the plane, she reached out her purse and her glasses, and there, untouched, was her own packet of cookies. In a flash, she realized her mistake. She had been eating the man's cookies all along. He had shared with her patiently, without complaint, while she had judged him harshly. There was no time to apologize, no way to explain. She was left with a lesson in humility and the dangers of jumping into conclusion. Connection to Bhagavad Gita, chapter number 16, sloga number 7. प्रवृत्तिं च निवृत्तिं च जनाना विदुरासुराः न शौचं नापि चाचारो न सत्यं तेषु विद्यते. Those possessing a demonic nature, asuric, do not comprehend which actions are proper, which are improper. Hence they possess neither purity nor good conduct nor even truthfulness. In her anger and assumption,
Swamiji, the evaluate first will also be holding true here, no?
Fully true. We can start. This is how the culture in us gets developed. Not limiting to one particular sloga. That means we are trying to enter into, allowing Gita to enter into us. Yes, it can happen. So, in her anger and
I was thinking about the same story, Swamiji.
Very good, very good, very good. In her anger and assumption, the lady lost sight of what was right and wrong. Her mind, clouded by ego and judgment, led her to act without understanding purity or truthfulness. The man, on the other hand, showed patience, kindness, self control, qualities of a sattvic nature. It is easy to misjudge others when our minds are clouded by assumption and pride. The Gita warns that when we lose our sense of what is proper, we stray from truth. We stray from truth, purity, good conduct. True wisdom lies in humility, patience, and the willingness to see beyond our own limited perception.
But we can't blame the lady too, Swamiji.
Eh?
And we can't blame the lady too. Out of
We
mistake
can't
only
blame
she
the
has done like
lady.
that, talk like that. No.
Let us try to understand. We are in the lady's position, agreed. We jump with all these conclusions. See, actually, when we try to go through this, we are not judging what should have been. It is an incident that had happened, and
Okay.
and God wants us to know about it for our own sadhana. It is not that somebody is compiling and somebody is telling or somebody is conveying. Papa's quotation should come back to us. Behold divinity in every aspect of this world, Leela. Verily, it is He at play in all beings and creatures. So, in order that we get trained on these lines, He is now facilitating us to go through all these. He made somebody to do something, He made somebody to record it, and He made somebody to pass it on to us, and He made somebody to bring it out, connect it with the Bhagavad Gita. All for our own sadhana. So, impulsively reacting, please think. In India, of course, normally now because of the population increase, the human connection is getting diluted, agreed. But by and large, it is still there. We still remember when we were traveling from Jammu to Delhi by train from Pathankot. On those days, only up to Pathankot. We had gone there and coming back. Strangers, absolutely strangers, were our co-passengers. They had brought all, they are vegetarians, they had brought all these North Indian food. Every time when they opened the lunch box for one overnight, we have to be in the train. Every time. First, before eating, they will offer us. However much we decline, for at least for their sake, we used to take one at least. We said, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. So like that, we remember so many such incidents where this is a part of Indian tradition. Offering first to nowadays, because of certain happenings, God made it. Somebody was given something along with their food items, and because of that they lost consciousness, and in the night their ornaments were removed, something like that, because one or two incidents such happen. But because of that, now nobody will accept. And then later on, the disease like COVID and everything, it had all made ourselves to think only we cannot share, nobody will take, we will not take also. But still we have found in many of our journey, when somebody offers, we will not refuse. It is still there. Then this is a very, very, very important thing, especially many of us would have come across the same. We have personally witnessed this also in Bangalore. One day I hopped into a taxi heading for the airport. As we cruised along, suddenly a black car darted out from a parking spot right in front of us. My taxi driver slammed on the brakes, tires screeching, We came to a halt just inches from a potential accident. The driver of the black car, instead of apologizing, whipped his head around, started yelling it at us in anger. To my surprise, my taxi driver just smiled and waved at him. Genuinely, not sarcastically. I was stunned. Why did you just do that? The guy almost wrecked your car and sent us to the hospital. That is when my taxi driver shared a lesson I will never forget. Many people are like garbage trucks. They run around full of garbage. What is garbage? Frustration, anger, disappointments. As their garbage piles up, they need to place to dump it. And sometimes they will dump it on you. Don't take it personally. Just smile, wave, wish them well, and move on. Don't take their garbage and spread it to others or work. Spread it to others at work, at home, and on the street. He concluded, life is too short to wake up with regrets. Love the people who treat you right. Pray for the ones who don't. Remember, life is 10% what you make it, and 90% how you take it. His calm, positive response turned what could have been a day ruining moment into one of the best lessons of my life. Connection to Bhagavad Gita, chapter number 6, sloga number 27. Prashantamanasam hyenam, yoginam sukham uttamam, upedi shantarajasam, brahmabhutam agalmasham. Great transcendental happiness comes to the yogi whose mind is calm, whose passions are subdued, who is without sin, and who sees everything in connection with God. The taxi driver's response is a living example of this teaching. He kept his mind calm and untroubled, not allowing the anger of another to disturb his peace. By not reacting with frustration or anger, he maintained his inner happiness and passed on that peace to others. True happiness and strength come from a calm mind and controlled emotions. As the Gita teaches, when we refuse to let others' negativity disturb our peace, we experience a higher joy and become a source of calm for the world around us. The law of garbage truck is, in essence, the wisdom of the Gita in everyday life. Let go, stay calm, choose happiness. Let go, stay calm, choose happiness. You missed so many. Response to violence. Peace Pilgrim, a remarkable woman, known for her unwavering commitment to nonviolence and love, once encountered a troubled teenage boy. He was large, strong, feared by many for his violent outbursts. He had even once beaten his own mother so badly she was hospitalized for weeks. When he expressed a desire to go hiking, everyone was too afraid to accompany him, but Peace Pilgrim, trusting in the inner power of the power of compassion, volunteered to go with him. As they climbed the first hilltop, a thunderstorm rolled in, and the boy's fear turned into panic. Suddenly, in his terror and confusion, he lashed out and began to hit her. Peace Pilgrim could have easily escaped. He was weighed down by a heavy backpack, but she chose to stay. Even as he struck her, she felt only deep compassion for his suffering. She thought, how terrible to be so psychologically sick that you would hit a defenseless old woman. At the time of hitting, instead of coming down to the plane of individual, she was able to raise herself and see, psychologically sick, a patient. Instead of responding with anger or fear, she bathed his hatred in love. Her calm and loving response had a profound effect. The boy stopped hitting and said in surprise, "You did not hit back? Mother always hits back." The delayed reaction, her refusal to retaliate, reached the goodness buried deep within him. Overcome with remorse, he broke down, experiencing complete self condemnation. Peace Pilgrim later reflected, what are a few bruises on my body compared to the transformation of a human life? The boy was never violent again, went on to become a useful, peaceful member of the society. Connection to Bhagavad Gita, chapter number 12, shloka number 15. यस्मान्नो द्विजते लोको लोकान्नो द्विजते च यः हर्ष अमर्ष भय उद्वेगैर् मुक्तो यः स च मे प्रियः. Beautiful. Those who are not a source of annoyance to anyone, who in turn are not agitated by anyone, who are equal in pleasure and pain, free from fear and anxiety, such devotees of mine are very dear to me. Peace Pilgrim's response to violence with unwavering calm, compassion, and forgiveness is a living example of this teaching. She was not a source of agitation or annoyance to anyone, nor was she agitated by others' action, even in the face of harm. Her equanimity, freedom from fear, ability to see the good in everyone made her truly dear to the divine. True spiritual strength lies in meeting hatred with love, violence with compassion, fear with calm. As the Gita teaches, those who remain unshaken by the world and who do not disturb others, but instead radiate peace, are the most beloved of the divine. Peace Pilgrim's life reminds us that even the hardest hearts can be transformed by the gentle power of unconditioned love. Today we covered a few. Anybody remembers anything?
Garbage truck.
Huh?
Garbage truck.
Garbage truck, very good.
Yeah. Ria. Bhavani aunty is telling about Ria.
Yeah, Ria.
Sridhar.
The
Sridhar,
Ria
sir.
means,
Sridhar.
the career choosing. Then,
Sridhar.
Swamiji, Sridhar, sir.
eh?
Sridhar,
Sridhar sir. Sridhar sir. Yes, then,
Swamiji, the man who returned the bag.
who returned the bag? Okay. Yes, then,
The lady's assumption.
eh?
Ladies assumption. Biscuit packet.
Ladies' assumption.
Cookie lady.
Retake, cookie, driver, yeah, then.
Not car driver, taxi driver.
Then, anything else?
Peaceful.
Peace Pilgrim, latest. While staying at a rest house in Kasargod, Beloved Papa had been given a few simple belongings by friends. A earthen lota, a deerskin mat, an umbrella, a lantern, some books. One night a stranger arrived and asked for everything in the room. Without a moment's hesitation, Papa handed it all over. By morning he sat on the floor with nothing but a single cowpea. When people asked and saw him in this state, they exclaimed, "Who robbed you?" Papa smiled and replied, "God came in other form and Ramdas gave him what was his." Soon after, as if by divine arrangement, each of the items that had been taken was returned or replaced, and Papa's needs were met once again without him asking. Papa saw no theft, no loss, only the play of the divine. For him, everything belonged to God. Please mute, please mute, please mute. Papa saw no theft.
Done, Swamiji.
Who is that? Gone.
got knocked out.
Papa saw no theft, no loss, only the play of the divine. For him, everything belonged to God, and he lived with this joyful detachment of one who had surrendered all. This luminous episode reflects the spirit of Bhagavad Gita, chapter number 5, sloga number 12. युक्त कर्मफलं त्यक्त्वा शान्तिमाप्नोति नैष्टिकीम् अयुक्त कामगारेण फले सक्तो निबध्यते. He who is satisfied with whatever comes by chance, he who transcends duality, is free from envy and remains steady in success and
We can't
failure.
hear Swamiji.
Huh? Huh?
What, uncle?
What is that?
I think they said can't hear or something.
You can't hear. Oh, I would not have opened. Okay.
We can't hear you.
Okay,
Swamiji.
okay. They are right. युक्त कर्म फलं त्यक्त्वा शान्तिमाप्नोति नैष्टिकीम् अयुक्त कामकारेण फले सक्तो निबध्यते. He who is satisfied with whatever comes by chance, who transcends duality, is free from envy and remains steady in success and failure, is never bound though acting.
Swamiji,
Ah,
like this, if you please tell one teaching of Papa, it will be very helpful, for some
it's coming.
incidences are also very helpful. But
Ah,
if you please teach us, give us one Papa's teaching along with it,
You are
it
getting.
will help us to learn Papa's teachings also.
You will be getting it. 10 of such have been included.
Swamiji, yesterday, in the last class, you were telling about, God dwelling in all creatures. Also, at that time, I remembered Papa thinking in the vision of God, Papa talking to the hen which laid its eggs, and the eggs were all taken away by somebody. So Papa told the hen, we can't help it, some people taking away the eggs. I remember that yesterday, Swamiji.
Ah, Cherry. Okay. We move to the next. Rayansh, a lively 6-year-old, was playing joyfully in his front yard when his ball slipped through the open gate, bounced onto the busy main road. Acting on pure instinct, Rayansh dashed after it, unaware of the danger that awaited him. At that very moment, a speeding car came hurtling down the road. Pradeep, the alert driver, slammed on the brakes, stopping just in time, mere feet from the little boy. Rayansh, blissfully unaware of his brush with the danger, picked up his ball and ran back inside the gate. Shaken, Pradeep parked his car, approached the house. When Rayansh's grandfather answered the door, Pradeep gently explained what had happened and suggested he is too young to grasp the danger, but a simple act of keeping the gate shut could prevent a serious accident. The grandfather listened, his initial concern giving way to deep gratitude. He realized that Ranch's impulsive dash for the ball could have ended in tragedy, and that a small pause, a moment of awareness, or even the simple act of closing gate could make all the difference. Connection again, chapter number 1, sloga number 21, Senayorupayor madhye ratham sthavayame achyutaha. Place my chariot in the midst of the two armies, that I may observe those who stand here to fight. Let me know with whom I must engage. That is, evaluate before plunging into action. Before the great battle of Kurukshetra.
Swamiji,
Oh,
Swamiji, 24 and 31 is one and the same.
correct. Before the great, why not we go along with the anecdotes? It should get registered, you
Yes, yes.
know. Papa is
Yes.
facilitating us to get it repeated, that's all. Because our intellect should not work here. The intellect is right in pointing out. But here what is needed is we are trying to absorb these positive vibrations. In the first case, it was the career choosing. Career choosing. Without consultation, we jump into that, then we become miserable. She was interested in graphic design. She was forced to.
Yes, correct.
That's a different one. Maybe this. That means in one, it also shows that from one sloga, so many such things are there. Not merely we should limit to this. Our intellect will assume all those things. As a sadhaka, we are not here merely real. Now this will give us. This should give us some interest. We take the Gita book, go through a few slogas, and try to find out like this. How does it bring out it in day-to-day life? So that when we deal with men and matters tomorrow, slowly we will be trying to bring in the Gita touch. That is what is intended. Through this effort, what is intended is not reading or sharing this. The intention is to give us Gita touch to everything that we henceforth do. We deal with persons, we deal with objects, we deal with situations. Based upon our mindset, we put a label. Good and bad and so many things. Now this exercise will definitely give us a break. Don't rush up in putting the label. Then there is a Gita touch. This particular sloga, 21 sloga, in chapter number 1, if it helps us in putting a break before we react to events and individuals, then we know this has been helpful to me. Otherwise, it is only hearing and going. My intellect may be able to say this and that, that's all. What is more important is to assimilate the theme and try to bring it out in our life to be lived. For the life to be lived, we are trying to take back whatever we have so far lived. When we go to a school or college, the teacher or the lecturer takes up the text that has been worked out by somebody. But why are we reading it? It might help us in our dealing with the world to be lived. What has been lived is given to us so that we may improve the quality to be lived. That is what Gita is doing. It is not copying. Very, very important. Arjun was a gifted software engineer in Bangalore, living a comfortable life with his wife and young daughter. When a prestigious multinational company in Mumbai offered him a high-paying managerial role, Arjun was elated. The promise of a hefty salary, a coveted title, the admiration of his peers was irresistible. Eager to prove himself and climb the corporate ladder, Arjun accepted the offer, moving to Mumbai, leaving his family behind. The new job was everything he had dreamt of. The perks, the recognition, and the sense of achievement were exhilarating, but soon the demands of the role took their toll. Long hours, relentless travel, constant pressure left Arjun drained. He missed birthdays, school performances, quiet evening with his family. His hobbies, photography, volunteering, fell by the wayside. The excitement faded, replaced by a growing sense of emptiness and fatigue. One evening, after missing his daughter's school play for the third time, Arjun sat alone in his apartment, overwhelmed by regret. His body felt heavy, his mind restless, his heart ached with a longing for the life he had left behind. He realized he had been chasing external rewards, status, money, validation, while neglecting what truly mattered: connection, balance, inner fulfillment. After deep reflection, Arjun made a courageous choice. He resigned from the high pressure job, returned to Bangalore, accepting a simpler role that paid less but allowed him to be present for his family and pursue his passions. The decision brought him peace, health, genuine happiness. Connection to Bhagavad Gita, chapter number 1, shloka number 29.
Swamiji, this magnanimity and lenience attitude, magnanimity and nature of excusing and all that, does it not bring unsavory result at the end?
Our intellect is working.
Yeah.
Let us try.
You can't it.
No,
My boss, S.V. Ranganathan, I mentioned the other day, asked me to conduct an inquiry against a senior officer. I proved that he had swallowed 3 lakhs from the government. I wrote in my opinion that he has tarnished the image of the department. To further avoid for tarnishing, he should be unceremoniously dismissed. That was my opinion. S.V. Ranganathan, such a great man. Can you spend your 5 minutes, precious 5 minutes after 5:30? He said that. And okay, sir, I will come. And I went. When does he retire? Sir, in a couple of months. He has read the entire history. The service officer was also there. Why don't you have a large heart and let him go? Sir, he has swallowed the government. Recover. Leave him. Don't put him into jail. He taught me that lesson.
Correct. सीदन्ति मम गात्राणि दुःखं च परिशुष्यते वेपतश्च शरीरे मा रोमहर्षश्च जायते. My limbs give way, my mouth is parched, my body trembles, my hair stands on end. Just as Arjun, the mighty warrior, was gripped by confusion and inner conflict on the battlefield, his body reacting to the storm within, so too did Arjun experience the physical and emotional toll of a mind clouded by delusion and misplaced priorities. The body, as the Gita teaches, often echoes the mind's turmoil. When our actions are driven by fear, ego, or societal pressures, we lose sight of our true path, and both mind and body suffer. The greatest battles are fought within. When we ignore our inner voice and chase hollow rewards, confusion and fatigue follow. Bhagavad Gita reminds us that clarity, contentment, and strength arise when we pause, reflect, and realign our action with our deepest values. True fulfillment comes from not from external validation, but from living in harmony with our authentic self. The first victory must always be won on the inner battlefield. We have also heard, just like what you said, one of the devotees here, his father, when he was working in Bombay, we were told he was a stenographer to a Britisher. The office peon was irregular. He was many a times warned, but he dereliction the duty. Finally, he was dismissed. After 6 months, he came and asked for a contact certificate. So immediately, the devotee asked, "How can we give you a contact certificate? You were dismissed." Anyhow, he had a broad heart. I will have a word with the boss, a Britisher. So he went and asked him. Immediately the boss said, "Give him a first class certificate." And you know what he said. That is why we remember, we have shared this in the Satsang many a time. Wait. He said, the very fact that he has come here for the contact certificate, knowing well that he was dismissed, that knows the transformation has taken place. A person who committed some mistake, it is not that forever he commits the mistake. That is the main point. To err is human, no? Out of some compelling circumstances, he would not have been very serious. But what is the purity of his heart made him to come and approach him. He knows very well he was dismissed because of his irregularity. And what will they do? But as a child, he went, that he was able to, the boss was able to understand. Give him a first class certificate. So, just as Arjuna, the mighty warrior, was gripped by confusion and inner conflict on the battlefield, his body reacting to the storm within, so too did Arjun experience the physical and emotional toll of a mind clouded by delusion and misplaced priorities. The body, as the Gita teaches, often echoes the mind's turmoil. When our actions are driven by fear, ego, and pressure, we lose sight of our true path, and both mind and body suffer. The greatest battles are fought within. When we ignore our inner voice and chase hollow rewards, confusion and fatigue follow. The Bhagavad Gita reminds us that clarity, contentment, and strength arise when we pause, reflect, realign our actions with our deepest values. True fulfillment comes not from external validation, but from living in harmony with our authentic self. The first victory must always be won on the inner battlefield. So today we have covered about 9. Let us try to ponder. Let us not simply go, please, please, please. We repeat again and again. The purpose is not to share some thoughts with your experience. It is only to remind us to learn a technique by which Gita goes in, or we go into Gita. From shelf to self, from reverence to relevance. This is the prompting we got to take up this. Not for doing it, not for sharing it. First of all, we should understand, we did not have he did not provide the facility for us to have this type of learning in our impressionable age or later. He gave us a lot of commitments. So we had to fulfill that. But because of his kindness, every now and then he used to give us something of it. And now, after a long spell, he is now prompting us intensely to take up this project. Bhagavad Gita touch in everyday's life. If 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 slogas stay with us out of 700 slogas, it's a gain. Don't think that we have to go through 700 slogas. If a few slogas, if we try to understand it and blend it with our day-to-day life, the effect will be tremendous. And through that, we may be able to go further. So by hearing it again and again and again and again, repetitive performance, it leaves a deep impact. And it slowly starts flowering. This is what is intended. So that's why we requested, write down every day at least one name of the person or an incident. So that, it comes back, it has all come from Bhagavad Gita, come from Bhagavad Gita, come from Bhagavad Gita. So naturally the tendency will be there to take up the book and go through that. Again we get lost, we are unable to connect. Doesn't matter. By perseverance. And this is our experience. We also did not have any background of this. But as we started going in, he is now guiding us, connecting us. Tomorrow is?
Friday.
Friday, okay. So more about it tomorrow. Hari Om. 32, okay.
To follow Bhagavad Gita, unless a person develops certain amount of values, Bhagavad Gita cannot be introduced, followed. Unless values are maintained by us.
How do we get the values? It doesn't come from the sky.
That's true.
We keep on hearing.
I'm telling that unless we enhance that quality.
That's what. This is the process. These are all processes where we hear goodness, we see, First of all, we develop the attitude to hear the goodness, see the goodness. Slowly the culture develops. How can it develop otherwise? It will not develop. A father telling his son, don't tell lie.
Yeah.
Then the son, next day and after a few days, when he comes back to the house, a telephone rang. Out of tiredness, he said, tell them I am not here. The son said, I will not do that. You are here?
She has done that. I was taking shave. Phone came. She said, I asked her to tell father has gone to bathroom. No, my father is taking shave.
So correct. So that means, when we are committed to that, then he immediately corrected. There is no ego there. Out of, this thing, it slipped, that's all. Not that there is everybody would like to tell lies.
Yeah.
But somebody when points out the goodness, this is how it is kindled.
Yeah.
By hearing, by seeing, by reading. We try to develop this culture. And it stays with us. Slowly it will percolate. I may fail, I may forget. But again, I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have talked like that. I shouldn't have thought like that. Slowly it will come. That is sadhana, no? Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om. Om Shri Ram. No, gone. Something wrong with this. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om